I'm going to point to something that I see to be a much bigger issue. And that is the impact on AI and our level of fulfillment and the impact of AI on our mental health. Now, to me, if we look at AI, what I hear with that, what I think of as how to categorize it, it's another way of creating increased convenience. If we look at the leveraged technology that we've had as a human race in the last couple of 100 years, there has never been a time where there's been as much exponential growth on innovation that increases convenience in the world than ever before. We've got cars that can take us places quicker. We've got electricity that can allow us to see things at night and do things differently. It's extra convenience. We've got mobile phones that allow us to conveniently communicate with each other. We've got the internet. We've got devices where we can type into instead of having to speak it out or write it out. If we didn't have, like, think about the typewriter, and then now we have computers, and now we can transcribe things so we can just speak into the technology and it'll lay it all out. Artificial intelligence is taking that to the next level. We can give AI a little bit of information and they can do even more than all those things. They can write the essay for us. In fact, it can think for us now. Now, putting forward the problem with this, all of the way that I see convenience is it's something that saves us time with all this new technology and innovation. It saves us time, number one. And number two, it creates more variety in satiating entertainment. That's what it does. We've got different experiences. We couldn't experience gaming on a computer with that satiating entertainment when we were living in the wild. What would we do instead? We'd make hunting games. We'd be making games with sticks. But we'd also be connecting and storytelling with each other. And so what I'm going to point out right now is a big question that needs to be answered. And I perceive that you having this question puts you at a serious advantage in terms of the way that you can approach your life moving forward versus someone that hasn't been asked this question. And the question is, has all this innovative, convenience-driven technology made your level of presence and fulfillment, I have them almost as synonyms, has it increased or decreased your level of presence and fulfillment? That's the important question to be asking here. And the reason it's the important question is because I don't see life necessarily as reactively as what I used to, just kind of getting pinballed around and going with the flow of everything and just allowing myself to go through the paces in whichever way. I've been spending the last 7 or so years cultivating deep self-awareness so that I actually have a greater capacity to have free will and a greater capacity for presence, because I actually want to live my most fulfilled life. And this is the baseline premise that this whole episode is centered on, and that is the purpose of life is fulfillment, the quality of our experience. And that doesn't mean have dramatized, intense joy, bliss, always be having the most entertaining time ever. Because there's a very big difference between what I'm just going to categorize as happiness and what I'm going to put in the category of fulfillment. Happiness can be, I can feel happy when I'm eating a chocolate bar. Gives me some joy. Woo, happy, boom. Yeah, happiness, exciting. Seeing a funny dog video on social media. Whew, gives me some happiness. I might even laugh out loud. That's happiness. But happiness in my understanding and experience, my theoretical understanding of the way the universe works and life works, but also my experiential understanding, is that those hits of satiating happiness that are more gratifying in the short term is very, very different to the sustainable, deeply fulfilling level of satisfaction that can come from presence and alignment in the way that we're approaching our life. So someone could be given $10,000 to go on a shopping spree on a day, and they could be in the shops buying all these clothes, buying all this new stuff, going to these fancy restaurants, and they're, hit of happiness, hit of happiness, hit of happiness. And they could feel really satiated. And then someone else could be given zero money and just spend a day with, I'm going to say, 2 steaks, 3 pieces of fruit. You know what? Just 2 steaks, a fire. They get 2 raw steaks, a fire, 3 pieces of fruit. Costs them a total of $15. And they're out there in nature, not really too much satiating happiness. But from my experience, that creates a really meaningful and sustainably satisfying experience. That's fulfillment, not happiness. And so that's what I'm setting as the baseline premise of this episode, that the purpose of life, the way to have the best life, in my opinion, is to live a life of deep meaning, presence, and fulfillment.